Hey, world. I went live on another stream a minute ago, but I got this new camera situation, and you said I was live, but the title's like DDDD. I was just trying to test things out, family. So I'm not, really prepared to go live right now, but I was just trying to check out this new camera to see if it's going to be good for me. Let's see how we need to do this. That's too low. I like that there. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes because I just went live. I was scheduled to go live. I missed a button. I did something wrong, family, but my computer literacy isn't up to par like my financial literacy is, so I got to get that together. But I need to try to find out family members in it. But if you're out there right now, hit me up and let me know if that first chat or the first live chat that I just scheduled is still active. I know I had a couple of family members in the garden waiting, and I just wanted to make sure that cats can come in and join me. Being with us live right now, and I hope those that were waiting on that other one come over here to this one. Like I say, I'm trying to get myself technologically sound, and got a camera here, and for the next live for the night. Once again, guys, if you didn't get a chance to watch that video I just dropped about the real meaning of Memorial Day, go check that out. It was so interesting. I'm watching some footage yesterday and even this morning, and there was still treating Memorial Day like Veterans Day. Remember, Memorial Day isn't Veterans Day. Veterans Day, they have that particular day. I think it's in November. I know for a fact that they do it during football season, because when I was still asleep and wasting all my time watching professional entertainment, because remember, it isn't professional sports. Sports, when you have something called dignity and stuff, and winners or losers are pretty much determined on the field, on the court, by athletes. That's when you're younger. When you get to the professional level, family, it's only fake. But I'm not gonna be a long fan. I just wanted to do a little testing out of this camera to make sure, because this is my first time doing it on the desktop, and I just wanted to come in real quick before I do leave. I got to drop a little food for thought. Family, on this whole notion of a tariff, and I just want to kind of come back to clarify a couple of things. It's hard to even. I try not to laugh, but now I see, when I was younger, how those who was dropping mad knowledge, right? Because remember, I'm an empath, and I've always felt different all my life. And so I always kind of gravitated toward those who were speaking not what everyone else was speaking. And so it was basically a lot around, older men and older women that would speak on things that other people think they're crazy, i.e., they can understand Christianity and why we as Afro-melanated people worship a white God, or worship a white Jesus, or Jesus at all for that matter. And I don't mean to offend any Christians out there, but, the bitter truth hurts, okay? Because see, sometimes we're so cognitively dissonant and so psychologically brainwashed and experiencing, Stockholm syndrome. Any information that's going to be outside of that norm is going to be viewed as condescending, or viewed as are titled conspiracy theories. And those were the cats I used to listen to when I was younger. And a lot of the information resonated with me. And now it all makes sense, okay? Because see, when you label someone a conspiracy theorist, then basically what you're doing, you're minimizing their mentality, or you devalue them as a person, because everyone has the right to have their own opinion, okay, and their own understanding of this world, okay? And so when you have, you know, the stuff that's going on today, I reflect back and I'm like, man, now I see why they're saying that, because see, they would say certain things and I couldn't, and I didn't really quite understand it. But then when you get on, you do the research, and you're like, wait a minute, a white Jesus. And how is it named Jesus when the alphabet ain't but 500 years old? So his name wasn't even Jesus. You dig? So it's stuff like that. You know, world of slave ships, stuff like that, because you can, you know, we know about the Santa Maria, whatever those 3 ships that Columbus went on and didn't even come to this country. But we're taught in school about those 3 ships, okay, those 3 famous ships. But not one time have we ever, and even to this day, I'm still looking and searching for the manifest from these slave ships to actually give us a real indication or real actual factual numbers of the number of people that was actually came over here on the ships and what country were they coming from. Okay, let me get into this right quick, family. Let's see here. In the 80s, sports was real. I don't know about that, Leroy. I don't know about that, man. XO, no doubt. You find out that's just all a sham. Nephew, let me see. They said God is only Savior. Okay. Right. And that's nice comment, nephew. That's so, you know, indicative of the type of understanding I'm trying to get across. It's like, you know, in Genesis, it tells you that you know, that God created man in you know, his own image and this and that and the third, and that we're all God's children. And Jesus is the Son of God, but we're all God's children. Then when did it get to the point where the Son is more important than the Father or the Creator? You dig? And so it's that alone, you know, caused a lot of confusion. And once again, just the fact that he's blonde hair and blue eyes. And you can even go back to the Greeks with a cat by the name of Ptolemy. Okay, and Ptolemy was actually the first Greek pharaoh to go into Kemet. And I call it Kemet, but you know, they call it present day Egypt once the Greeks went in. So now you're talking, wait a minute, Ptolemy, okay, when he got to Egypt, you know, he basically made himself a god as well, because remember, we had pharaohs, we had kings and queens decades and centuries ago. We're talking 2200 BC, 3200 BC, cast by the name of Imhotep. That was actually the first, he is actually considered the father of medicine, okay? Imhotep, not Hippocrates. That is hypocritical to think that Hippocrates is the father of medicine, but I digress. You know, so when you know about Ptolemy, and you know that he tried to make himself a god by creating a worship called, you know, he was Serapis. And if you look at the head bust of Serapis, do your research, family. Serapis looks just like Jesus. Okay? And then if you go further down the line, you'll see, you know, in the King James Version, a cat by the name of Caesar Borgia. Okay? So it's all deception and manipulation, and you just got to make sure you decide from yourself what's real and what's not. KY, man, you know, hey, I'm coming back tonight. You know what I mean? This is a new camera, and so I wanted to come in, and basically I was just gonna be on a couple minutes, but you know, when I get into the garden, I gotta drop something, you know, and so before we leave, you know, you gotta understand that my last point on it is Afro-melanated people worshiping Jesus. That tells you right there about those TV evangelists or the Afro-melanated preachers that are the real actors, because you creating a deception, you creating confusion and division, and it's the masses that are affected by it. Okay, so It's just cognitive dissonance. And like I said, I don't mean to offend anyone, but, I am a spiritual person. I understand every time I drop a video, it's made the Most High inside of you bring you joy. That's not something I say just to say it. I really feel it because the Creator created me. And so I am what I am. Therefore, I am. And even in the Bible, in Luke and Matthew, they tell you how, God is inside of you, that Jesus is inside of you, that we're one. And so if you look reading the Bible from a literal secular standpoint, it can be confusing. It's a psychological manifestation of our reality from a spiritual standpoint, from a biblical standpoint. Why I say that? Because a lot of the information in the Bible, remember, anything that's created started with a thought first. Okay? And when you know the actual, kind of manifestation of spirituality, you know that, okay, if everything starts with a thought and everything's created with a thought, and we're the ones that hear, then the books that we are reading, including the Bible, the Talmud, including, the book of Enoch, including the book of Thomas, including all the religious scriptures over the years. Remember, we don't have a real time of when the Bible was actually written. Okay? But we know man wrote it. Now, was that man inspired by the word of God? Yes. Because you can't come with that type of, understanding in Psalms and Proverbs and all the many stories. You can't, that ain't just coming from just someone who's not spiritually conscious. But I think when man became idolizing themselves, that's when everything kind of went out the window. One of my students sent me a comment the other day. He asked me, did I know about the book called the Kabbalion? And I hadn't heard of that book, but I understood what the book was about. And it was about the Hermetic teachings. And the Hermetic teachings basically goes all the way back where all the religions, okay, pretty much follow the same doctrine. You dig? Where they worship the Most High, but in their own particular fashion. Now religion causes division, okay? And so you have to really be cognizant of who you're around when you're trying to learn who you really are, because if you try to learn who you really are from the outside, it's going to be difficult, because now you put yourself in a situation where all these different doctrines can infiltrate your system, and it can disrupt your energy, your vibrations, and your frequencies, and you don't want that, because you want balance in your life. All right. Yeah, Leroy. I mean, they take it literally. What's that nephew? One Jesus said he come for the world, and the other Jesus said he come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now you see how confusing that is? I mean, it's religion causes division because of the confusion in the information, because people take it literally, like it's secular history, but it's not. You dig? I mean, how is it that we're so quick to believe that this secular history actually happened when no one else has ever turned water to wine? I mean, not since 2,000 years ago, allegedly, turned water to wine, turned 5 loaves and 5 fish to abundance. If we're all, God's children, right? And even if in the Bible it said, no, there are a certain group of people, the God's chosen people. Okay, but where are the other prophets? Where are the other individuals? Because like my sons, I'm their father, right? Well, guess what? They have a lot of the same tendencies that I have, okay? They can play basketball. Really pretty smart. So, as a father, I'm looking at my sons and I'm saying, yeah, I can see that. I can see it. You did, because a lot of things that they are, on, I'm on, because I blessed them with that coming from what was inside of me. You did? And so like when, people say, Jesus Christ and the Lord, we're all one. then shouldn't we as individuals, I mean, shouldn't be just 2,000 years ago, all of a sudden God just stop talking to people? And now we're looking outward for understanding instead of inward, when the book of Thomas tells you that all of Jesus's teachings was about, understanding the true nature of our existence, because we're all God's children. So, but when you incorporate deception and add real actors to fool the masses, this is what you get. You get a community, a nation, a world of people following different doctrines and identifying themselves with that doctrine instead of identifying themselves with the Most High inside of them. Because you can manifest your own reality. Oh, man, look at T. I know, that's okay. Hope you was hitting the jumpers. All right. God said go through him for everything. Then Jesus said go through him not to get to the Father. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I feel so bad for those who are, that's why they call them sheep. And see, I mean, it's just right in plain sight. Okay. When you have actual kings and queens of the Nubian race that actually existed, no recollection of it. But we want to believe that Abraham and Jacob and Israel and Joseph and all these cats actually existed with no proof of tombstone, no family. I mean, you're supposed to be able to have proof of your existence. But then when you throw individuals that there's never been proof of their existence in with, snakes talking, all these different other stories happening, big ships, big floods, and then all animals and species on one ship, and the world is, repopulated by one, which, come on, I don't know. I do know, but a lot of these stories, family, have been taken from different centuries, from different cultures, It's not an accident that in different cultures, you have different messiahs. You have Buddha, you have Krishna, you have Jesus, you have Haru. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and they all come from virgin mothers. They all, immaculate conception. So, sometimes, you have to open up your minds. Because once you open up your mind, you'll be able to see exactly what your world is really about and why your existence is what it is. Family, I promise you, it's a beautiful feeling when you know that you are, part of the Most High, and that the Most High created you. Because see, nothing outside your body can ever affect that. DG, Brother Beans, in the Minnesota in the house. What's up, D? Oh, Neil, I need to team up with Young Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh. I've listened to Young Pharaoh, and he has a lot of good stuff, good information. But like I say, I'm not into. First of all, guys, I'm not into the name calling because everyone has the right to have their own, doctrine, their own mentality. Young Pharaoh, he's a cool cat, but I like to, and I've listened to him, but I like to make sure that I resonate with cats that's always on that positive energy and the frequencies are positive. I really can't get into those who, fall into the victim of being trolled and then you lash out at them. So if you keep it intellectual, okay, because you're supposed to be able to accept everyone's mentality, everyone's doctrine, because you can always learn from everybody. You can learn from everybody. DG putting that work in. I feel you. Hey, you know what? I wasn't even gonna be on this long, D. I was actually just gonna come on and check out this new camera. But when I got into the garden, man, I had to drop some knowledge. I had some food for thought I want to give out there. But join me tonight. I'll be back on tonight. Yeah, O'Neal. He Pharaoh is cool. Okay. And I like his I like the fact that he's able to, say the things he needs to say and people resonate with it. Okay. And there's a lot of other people out here on the web that I like to listen to. But like I say, family, just This existence is your existence. All right. And you can manifest whatever it is you want to. They tell you that in the Bible, but they tell you that from a outside standpoint, from a dependent standpoint. It's like, just praying that everything's gonna be okay. Just praying everything's gonna be okay. You should never be doing this looking for salvation, because that's outside your body. He's already inside of you. You have 7 chakras, okay? And that energy in those chakras are the energy that the Most High blessed us with. See, the rising of your chakras, that's really basically the same thing as the rising of Christ. That is the true resurrection, because you've been reborn. You've come out of the nonsense, and then you've come into, knowledge and wisdom. And everything that comes at you, you can identify, like I said in my last stream. You'll be able to identify the real actors from the fake actors. And anybody have actor in their title let you know you got to be careful. Okay? So, family, let's just make sure we keep it, keep it conscious. Raise those chakras. I am going to do another live, do another video about the chakras, guys. I've hit it in past videos, but I want to get back into it because, when those vibes are vibrating on a different frequency, and knowing things are not right, okay? That's just your chakras rising, okay? But in order for your chakras to rise, you got to make sure that there's purity. You got to make sure there's sincerity, okay? You got to make sure there's empathy, because remember, you cannot raise your vibrations and raise your spirits and raise your energy unless you have some positive energy going with that, all right? So, because the objective is to get all the way up here, okay? Because the third eye where the pineal gland activates, that is going to be where you start seeing everything. And then once you get to the 7th chakra, that's when you basically, you're in the Most High one. All right, that's when you start to have the intuitions at an all-time high, clairvoyance. You start to have psychic abilities. You're feeling all the energy, and it's real. Because remember, actions speak louder than words. Okay, people talk about a lot of stuff. They never true to it if it's not seen in their actions. All right, like with our veterans. I mean, come on, man. I mean, today alone, I think everyone, if you see anybody, any homeless person on the corners, panhandling for money or asking for money, just on guilt purpose alone, on GP alone, give them something, because you don't know if they're a veteran or not, and if you're fronting like you celebrating the veterans. Remember, Memorial Day should be for the veterans that's transitioned, but nevertheless, the veterans that are still here should, man, I'm telling you, the love should be there, and it's not, and it's really bad. Guys, tonight I think I'm going in at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, D. I'm supposed to go out there and swing some sticks. Supposed to go out there and hit some golf balls, but I got to get my camera situation squared away. I got to relocate it because I don't want to be all on the screen like that, But like I said, family, back to what I was talking about, how there's a reason why when you have your children, you see the tendencies in your kids. They act just like you. And if you're not acting in accordance to who you say you're worshiping, then that's hypocritical. Okay. So what they say, 10%. It should be 10% of everything, not just 10% of ties to the televangelist or the real actor in church. That 10% is supposed to be 10% of everything in your life. Okay, not just money, because money don't exist. Tithes aren't just based on money. All right. So anytime you're talking about 10%, then it should be 10% of everything, not just 10% of tithes. Okay. Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt, O'Neal. Come on, man. Scorpio in the house. What's good, brother? What's good? Family, y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and because we have to make sure more people get this knowledge and get this real food for thought, because so many people out here throwing it out there, but they're not throwing it out there for the right reasons. I want you guys to resonate with this information, because I promise you it's going to make your life and your existence and your everyday understanding and overstanding of your existence a lot easier. Okay? Because when I talk about narcissists, remember, those are the people that are the antithesis of empaths, to those that are trying to do good. If you've ever been around an empath, or if you're dealing with, or not empath, if you're dealing with narcissists, my heart goes out to you. But I tell you one thing about a narcissist: they just bullies. They're only bullies. And once you find out about them, it's a wrap. Okay? Because they're narcissists. They, like I always say, emotionally bankrupt, and so they only get joy from your pain. They only get pleasure from your disdain. They only get pleasure from the fact that you are hurt by them. So let's make sure you understand that everybody in this world don't have your best interest at heart. And this group of people that are called narcissists, I've dealt with them in the past, from a parental standpoint, from a spousal standpoint, from a employer standpoint. Because remember, they're not just family members or spouses; they all over the place. And they overt narcissists and covert narcissists. So make sure you be careful. No doubt. I mean, now, and I'm glad you mentioned Trump before I get up out of here. To just basically piggyback on this narcissistic conversation. When you see Trump, that is a overt narcissist. Okay? You have the overt narcissist and you have the covert narcissist. Overt narcissists are Trump. People that are out there and you know what you're dealing with. But the most dangerous type of narcissist is that covert narcissist. That's the one that's gonna kill you softly behind your back. And so you got to make sure that you recognize the signs and symptoms, family. So I'll be coming back with more narcissistic videos to help you understand and identify these creatures. And remember, if the Most High is inside of you, you're more empathic. Okay, everything you feel in this existence, you feel it on a energy level of positivity. All right. So, fam, I just want to come on. I was just supposed to be on like 3 minutes, but I got in the garden and it was a wrap. So, let me go ahead and get into the comments. Yes, Scorpio, I agree with you wholeheartedly that it's the tell-a-lie vision that creates a lot of narcissists. Because remember, what is a narcissist? A narcissist is a person who loses their ability to grow mentally, emotionally, and psychologically at a stagnated age. Most narcissists become narcissists as kids, teenagers, but it's actually during a time where they mostly influence the most. And what influenced us the most? The tell-a-lie vision, social media, okay? Because it teaches them it's me, 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 me. And when it's just me, 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 those are narcissistic tendencies. And then when that narcissistic tendency becomes a narcissistic personality disorder, then it's a wrap. And so the more people you get in that particular narcissistic mindset, the more people you can control. Because see, narcissists are only consumers. Because they have to look good, they have to flaunt it, they need the attention. Okay? And what are we doing for attention? Social media, likes, So hang in there, family. No doubt on their spiritual parasites, okay? And I also call them energy vampires, because when you're around these narcissists, they just drain you. They drain you, okay? So, fam, I'm finna get on out of here. I'll be back tonight, probably around 8 o'clock. I want to come back with a little more information about this tariff. Come back with a little more information about how it's actually going to affect us in the near future, okay? Not in the down the road, down the way. Down the way is going to be a beautiful situation for those who've been listening to my channel, because I understand that when you pay yourself first, it's going to be a great situation for you once this market crashes. Right now, I'm watching Bloomberg right now, okay? And there's so much volatility in the market, it's going to crash, all right? So, family, make sure you increase that financial literacy, raise those chakras, okay? Give them narcissists plenty space, right? And like I say, the Most High is inside of you. Quit looking outside for what's already inside. Manifest your own destiny through your understanding and overstanding that you are Christ-like. Simple as that, okay? I am, therefore I am. It's in the Bible. That was written by man. And anything that's written had to start with a thought. And for that thought to be created, it has to come with imagination. Okay? So everything that's good in you, it's already been in you all your life. Just manifest it. All right? All right, now, family. To my brothers and sisters, being willing gonna come back at you later on. And in the meantime, between time, may the most silent side to bring you joy. And being willing is out of 5,000.